Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kisha, in case you're new here. I blog every day at kjaggers.com. The link is below, just in case you're interested in checking it out sometime. So I am back today with a very simple organizational video on my desk in the living room. Now, I have a couple of desks throughout the house. I have one in my bedroom, one in my living room, and one in the spare room. So we have lots of different areas. This desk in the living room is one of my most used desks. I thought I would take you through it, show you how I organize it. It's very simple. We'll talk about paperwork, we'll talk about bills, all that good stuff is going to be included in this video. So if you want to hear all about that and see how I organize the downstairs desk, just keep watching and I'll show you how I have it set up. Okay, so here is the desk in my living room. Now my TVs to the left are main TV and to the right are our sliding glass doors. So as I said in the beginning, I have 3 desks inside our home. I have this one, which I have used for my makeup and some other things in the past, but it was a desk given to me by my grandmother. I really want to redo it. I just haven't gotten to that yet. And we have a desk upstairs in my bedroom. It's just very simple and there's not a lot of organization there. It's just someplace I work at night. It's pretty plain. And then in our spare bedroom / office, we have another desk that's much larger, holds a lot more stuff. We have our filing cabinet in there, and we have lots of books in there. So this area right here, I really like because I know it's very close to the TV, but I am such a fan of fresh air. This was basically the only place to put the desk besides that small little wall right there where it won't fit. So this works perfect. I don't mind that the TV's there because a lot of times I am working and either listening to maybe the music on the TV in the music channels, or maybe I'm listening to a movie in the background. So I don't really mind, and some days I just sit there with the TV off if I want it quiet. So let me kind of run you through this little area and explain everything I have out right now. So we've had this whiteboard for a very long time. It's something that I love and we use it quite often. So what is up on here is just some cards and stuff that has come along, here recently, and some pictures that have a lot of meaning. And you can see I have a baby shower announcement, some more pictures and a postcard. Up here in the corner I have some summer to-dos. Here is some more stuff to do regarding Jackson, and I just put papers here that might be important. This is an orthodontist appointment paper, and this used to be a part of our command center, but when we added the chalkboard wall in our home, I just kind of done away with the command center and broke it up into 2 kind of different areas. So the chalkboard wall, which is also down here on the first floor, contains like our weekly menu, some appointments coming up for the week, just weekly stuff. This has more stuff spread out over a larger time, like more summer ideas, things to do before school starts again for Jackson. Can you believe school's out and we are in summer? And then down here is where, I'm sorry about the glare, there we go. Down here is where I keep blog and YouTube ideas that kind of help keep me straight in preparing to figure out what I'm filming or posting on my blog. So that is just an overall look at the whiteboard, and the whiteboard sits right above the desk. I wanted enough room where some things could hang down if I wanted them to. And this little area right here is just the very top ledge of the desk. Now, one thing I love about this desk is it does close. It has that flap and you're not going to see everything inside. But there's not a ton of storage on the inside, so I take advantage of the top. Over here, we have this beautiful lamp that Scott and the kids got me for Mother's Day. I absolutely love it. And you can find it at Cracker Barrel, probably crackerbarrel.com. And it just sits here on the ledge. Now, I was going to have it upstairs on my nightstand, but I'm down here so much, I thought it was a really pretty addition to the desk. Then I have these little owl jars. I think I found these at my dollar general store for $2 a piece maybe. So in this one I have just everyday pencils because my son is always losing a pencil. And then over in this one I have just ink pens and pens that I use a lot. I'm a felt tip pen girl. I love felt tip pens. So those just live there. Now these are not my only pens. I just like to have some very, out for convenience and because they're handy. In the front, I have this adorable little Volkswagen red bug my husband got me because I have a red beetle myself. And then I have this little snake that Jackson made in art class. So I just keep it there because they're little and cute. Now, this mail sorter I found, again, somewhere either like Walmart or the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure where. I just know they were like $5 a piece. And I've had this for a while. I really like it. In the front here, I just keep plain envelopes. Now, I don't mail a lot of my bills out. I pay them online, but I do have a cute pen that I love. This one's so pretty that I just keep right here because I like it. But I do seem to mail a lot of stuff out. So I have a bunch of envelopes, and in this, there's a total of 4 compartments. So you got 1 large in the front, 2 medium size right here, and 1 large in the back. So in this little slot are our address labels, more address labels, and our stamps are right here too. So everything is right here that we will need to mail something. And over here are bills that have to be paid soon. Now when a bill comes into our house, normally I open it up the moment I get the mail, unless I'm in the car or something, and I pull up right before I leave. But when I come back in, I bring the mail and I go through it generally every single day. So what I do is I get rid of any of the envelopes and any of the big envelopes the bill came in, and then I just save the bill itself just right here. Now, even though I pay my bills electronically most of the time, I still like to have a copy. Then I don't have them set up on just coming straight out of my account. I don't really like that. But I sit down once a month and go through these bills, check the bills over, and make sure that everything is right on the bill, and I pay it. Once it's paid, it comes out of this section, it goes into the shredder, and it's gone. So I don't save bills from past months. I don't find it necessary. I do have a few that I've put up that I maybe questioned or something, but for the most part, I don't save these month to month. I just don't see any reason to do that. As soon as they're paid, they come out of here and go right into the shredder. In the back compartment is more mail, but it's mail that needs to be filed, and I don't really, feel like doing it right then, or it's mail that I want to keep, and I don't think it's a bill, but it's something important, so it just goes back here and lives here until I sort out, this little box, which happens every couple weeks. And then over here on this end, I have 2 of, I don't even know what you call them. I think they're just like the magazine or paper organizing boxes. Again, these were not expensive. They were like $5 a piece. You can definitely turn them like this where you don't see any of the paperwork inside. But this is our home. I don't mind a little bit of paperwork, and it's just stuff that we have to, go through and deal with. So in this first one, it's just mainly stuff that I use a lot, things that I plan on using, like thank you notes. There's some stuff in here. There's some of my medical records that I'm going to be taking to the doctor, some notes from my kids. These are just papers that I will be using, things that I need, and things that I plan on using very soon in the future. This box over here has like insurance information and a magazine, a Martha Stewart magazine that has some recipes in it that I want to take out, and also some paperwork that really needs to be filed, but I have not filed it yet. So that kind of just lives in here, and those are like our mower papers that for a lawnmower we just got, and we just keep things that need to be filed, which I do about once a month, right here in this little bin. Again, this is stuff I use more often than not, and this is stuff that needs to be filed, and things that I really don't use on a daily basis, but I do need, so that's where those live. And this little area stays very, very organized because, again, I sort that mail. If I get junk mail, I toss it. I don't hold on to paper clutter. It's too much, and before you know, it takes over, and you've got tons of stuff to go through, and I just don't like that. So I'm very persistent about sorting the bills. Now, you can cut down on your paper by doing, the electronic billing. I personally don't like that. I want to see the bill. I want to see the charges. I want a paper copy, and then I will deal with that accordingly as time goes by. And now moving down, there's this big area, and it's really nice because, as I said, it closes, it hides any mess that you may have, especially if you're working and maybe somebody shows up. You can close it really quick until you can get back to it. So I love this desk for the living room because it does hide stuff. However, there's not much in here to hide. So it folds down, and you can see it doesn't hit. Everything's perfectly neatly in here. And this is actually an illusion, at least in my opinion, because it gives you the idea that it's a much bigger desk than what it is. But your main area for storage is right here. I'm sorry about the discoloration and stuff. It's just part of the wear and tear. That's why I want to redo it. But you actually get storage from about this point back, and from past experiences, this will hold a ton of stuff, but I really don't want it to hold a lot of stuff for down here on the first floor, because that means it's more for me to clean and keep organized. So I like things rather simple. This top part of my desk, I usually put my laptop right here. Just like this, my little stool from over there comes over, and I can work right here at the desk with fresh air right beside me, which I love. And then I can also move my laptop to the side and have room to pay my bills or do whatever I need to do that day. Maybe write a thank you note or whatever it is. So the way I have it organized on this back part is very, very simple. So over here in the corner, I have just some books that I use a lot and a notepad that just lives on the side. I don't want this area to become full with, mail and more stuff. So I like to keep it very, very simple. And then back here in the back, I have another change jar because I find change everywhere. And I just kind of stack change up. I have a bunch of these little jars throughout my house. And, every once in a while, I cash them in and spend them on something I want. And I also have this Rapture lotion down here. So this was a gift from a viewer who was such a sweetheart to send me this wonderful lotion. It smells divine. It makes my desk smell amazing, and it just lives right here because I have one upstairs, and while I'm working on different things, I can put it on. It smells so good, and I love it. So it just lives right there in that corner. Here in the middle, things are relatively simple. So you can see right here is just a little organizer that I found, I think at the Dollar General, I don't remember, that has stuff like paper clips, some of those magnet things that, little things, and then one hair tie because I'm always needing that, some chargers, some small Post-its over here, some larger Post-its, my whiteout, and my tape. So that just fits perfectly here, and I have like a CD right there. Then in these two little bins, I have more of my labels, my tabs, some of the tapes I use in my planner. I also have a bin of rubber bands. So all of that lives right there, nice and neat. It's got its own home, and everything has a place. Over here is the coupons that I'm using currently. So I have things that I have found in the newspaper, which I'm a huge fan of Sunday paper coupons I find online, dinner coupons, I don't know what else, tons of different kinds of coupons. They're all labeled right in here, and easy to access if I need them. And I go through them every Sunday before I go to the grocery store or the market. And then I have this adorable calendar that came with my Erin Condren Life Planner. And in case you haven't seen that video, I will put it up, even though I have a updated video coming up very soon. But there's a link you can click on. You can see the planner I got, but this definitely came with it, and I love it. So it just sits right here because it's pretty and colorful. And then in the very back, you can see my password book. So not too many people know that's there, but if anything ever happens, my husband has access to everything and will be able to find the passwords, like to pay our bills or our checking account, anything. It goes right in that little book, which was a gift from my mom. And of course, I'm not going to open that and show you. So this area is very simply organized, and it's been working really well for the past couple months with keeping clutter down. Now, we all get tons of paperwork from our kids' school, from our church, from, random mailings that come in, and it's really important to go through that stuff as quick as you can, have a filing system that works for you, and get rid of it quick. Now, things that are important for Jackson, I sometimes hang up here. It also goes on the chalkboard wall because it does hold papers too. But I go through the paperwork relatively fast because I don't want loose papers just hanging out. It just always creates clutter. So moving on down, we got the next drawer, which is basically more supplies. So let me open it and show you. Okay, so in the front, I have more drawer organizers. Again, I think I found these at the Dollar General, maybe $4 or $5 a piece. It could be Walmart. If I figure out where I got them, I will link them in my corresponding blog post. But in the first one, you can see I got push pins. I've also got paper clips. I've got my small stapler down here because I don't want any of my large office items on this floor because this is a small area. I got my stapler removers, some elastic bands I use in my planner. This has some batteries and a few other things. These are some thank you cards I had printed off. Then my glue sticks, more tape. And I also have a lot of pins in this basket. Now, if I used a jar, it'd have to be really like wide mouth, and it would take up a lot of room. So I just love using like a bin like this to hold my pins and my small hole puncher, and this large roll of tape that I like to use when I'm sending packages out and such. So I just store those things in a long bin. I find it works better for me. And here are some different labels and stickers that are a little bit larger. I use these mostly in my planner, and they just kind of live right there where I know where they're at. And then right next to the stickers, I have another couple books that are important to me. So in my life, I've always found it important to keep last year's journal and or planners handy because I'm always referencing them, and that's what lives right there in that corner. Just more of my stuff from last year that a lot of times I have to reference. I was in this book just last night looking for an address for my husband, so it's always handy having that last year's calendar where I can get to it very easily. In the very back here, I have a portable printer wire that I have down here just because I was using it. But that is the first drawer. Very organized. Everything has a place. It's only stuff that I use. There's nothing in this drawer or in the top part that I don't use, which is very important. Everything in this drawer are items that I use, items that I need, items that I specifically chose to put in here. I do not want a ton of, mismatched stuff that don't belong, that's just taking up space, taking up room that you could have valuable stuff that you use every day. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I think it's important to refine the areas you use a lot in your home and make them more friendly for you. There's no reason to have a ton of stuff that you really don't need or use anymore. So in the next drawer down, I have just some very simple items. I have just a folder with extra paper. I'm always leaving a note for one of the boys, and it's handy to have it here. And Jackson sometimes needs paper. And then below I have this very simple file folder that opens up, that I keep more papers that need to be filed, which I file once a month in our main office. This little organizer here keeps all the paperwork that does belong upstairs very organized until I can get it there. So that's the stuff that lives on that side of the drawer. On this side, I have my portable organizer for my planners. I'll put a link up in case you haven't seen what's inside of it, but it lives right here until I need it. And then I also have like this laptop stand that puts my laptop at an angle, and it's really handy when I'm working at this desk. So this area does have a tendency to fill up sometimes with stuff I need to file, but again, I go through once a month, take stuff out, file it in our main filing system upstairs, and it all stays organized really easily. So in this last drawer, I have my subscription boxes and mail that is basically for my YouTube channel and my blog. So I have everything in here. I go through it once a month with my monthly mail. I also have things in here that I need to record. This is mainly just subscription box area, so it holds it really well. I know what's in here, and this area really does fill up because I love subscription boxes. If I have to record them, they go in this video. If they are items that maybe somebody sent me, which there's tons of stuff under here that I need to reply to, such as a card or a gift, I go ahead and put it in here, and I know when I'm doing desk time to come down here and figure out what I need to do. Like, do I need to send a thank you note? Do I need to make a video with one of my subscription boxes? Everything that has to do with YouTube mail or subscription boxes goes right here. Now, I do have a big bin for my post office mail. That's not really what I'm talking about. This is regular house mail that still is YouTube and blog related. So that all lives right down here very neatly, and it goes right in, and everything is nice, neat, and organized. So that is my little desk area that I work at every single day. I have a little garbage can over here for paper only. I can't emphasize that enough. Paper only. That does get recycled. And this little area has really stayed organized with me keeping up on it, and everything has its own place, and I love it. I use this desk, like I said, every day. I love it being right beside the doors where I can get fresh air, and you know, it doesn't take a lot to get organized. You can start off with little things that you already have. Maybe you have some little jars around your home that you can go ahead and use, or you know, some old magazine holders, or you can even go find this stuff for a fraction of the price at your local dollar store, and definitely organize your home desk area. So I hope you got some ideas, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll be back in a couple weeks with another zone cleaning video, and I have many other organizational videos coming up. Stay tuned next Tuesday for another organization video. Thanks so much for watching. Check out my blog at Kisha Jaggers for more pictures and information. If you've enjoyed this video, please take a second and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Thumbs up, like, all that good stuff. You know what to do. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.